What did journaling for 30 days teach me? As the new year came around, everyone was trying their different diets, challenges, setting their resolutions. So I thought I'd switch it up a little bit and been hearing about journaling for a while. So I thought, why not force myself to make a video so that I've got to journal for 30 days. So I did, and this is what I learned. I decided to do it at the end of each day. So I'd sit down once a day's over and do my journal entry for that day. It was really nice because that sort of signalled the end of the day for me and really helped me switch off and get to bed. Did I use a structure? Well, yes and no. I never stuck to a specific structure, but because this is new to me, I thought, why not try lots of different ways of doing it? I tried different combinations of bits during the journaling. I tried going completely freestyle. I tried and tested what works because I knew from the start that what I was going to do straight away wasn't going to be what I'd end up doing on the last day. A few different things that I tried to include was a word of a day. A few days I tried sitting down and thinking of a word that sort of had a bit of relevance to the day, whether it's summarise the day, whether it's a new word that I learned that day. That was quite a cool one to do because it was something a little bit different. It got your brain going, it got me thinking, it almost got me learning about some new words as well, so that was beneficial. Another thing that I would do was a story from the day. So at the moment we're stuck in a little bit of lockdown. The days just seem to blend together. So I thought, wow, how are we going to find a way to make these days memorable, make these days different? Well, it actually turns out they're all different and they're all pretty memorable anyway. So I decided to write a little story from the day or something worth sharing. What I do is I'd find a little bit of the day that was interesting or a little bit different to what my usual day would look like, and I'd also write that down. Whether it be that I tried cooking, whether it be I went out on a nice long walk, whether it be I tried a different workout plan, whether it be that I was super productive during that day and got loads done, whether it be that I came up with loads of new video ideas, whether it be I landed a new client. All of these little stories and little wins, I'd say, are part of like my journey, so I really want to track those. So a story from the day is definitely something that I found really beneficial to me, and it made me feel like my days were actually meaning something as well. Another thing that I tried was some affirmations. There's always that little voice in your head that's saying, are you good enough? Is this for me? And writing down these affirmations really helped. But first with the affirmations, I was a bit apprehensive and I was like, oh, really? It sounds a bit self-absorbed. Absolutely, it is. But it is so worth doing. Every day I write down these affirmations that I am good enough, that I am skilled in what I do. And it really helps me realise that I am good at what I do. I do make good videos, I do good work, I create good content. Because you can often get stuck in your own head quite a bit, and these affirmations really help you take that thought out of your head, so I would definitely highly recommend doing that. Another thing that I did was on a Sunday I'd set aside some time to do some weekly reflections. I'd look back on the week, read through a few entries and just reflect on the week, reflect on some thoughts that I had, reflect on what work I got done, reflect on how many calls I had, just flick through the entries of that week and just sort of reflect on it, write down what I thought about that week, write down what I thought about what I got done that week, write down what I thought I didn't get done that week. It's quite nice to have that sort of weekly structure as well to the journaling, where at the end of the week I knew I was going to read back over it, because you can quite easily forget that you've actually written stuff before what you're writing now. So it's quite nice to set aside that little bit of time to just read over what you've got done already and reflect on what you've already written. Built into that sort of weekly reflection session, I would set some goals for the week as well. So what I'd do is I'd sort of carry on with the normal entry, and then at the end of that Sunday I'd jot down a few goals or big tasks that I wanted to get done that week, whether it be film a few YouTube videos. I'd write those down in my Sunday entry on the journal, and then I'd move them over into my diary, because then I can keep checking them throughout the week. Another thing that I did like to do as well, every sort of now and again when the journaling started to feel like a bit more of a task rather than something that I want to do, I just decided to go completely freestyle. I'd really just start writing about anything. It'd usually start with a little bit of a summary of the day, and then I'd just go into like my thoughts and what I've got going on, what I've been doing. A little bit of just a freestyle was really nice to do. It really helps sort of break up the structure. So one of the things is you don't have to do the same thing every day. Just because you did your affirmations, a summary and a story of the day yesterday, doesn't mean you have to do that today. If you want, go completely freestyle, go off script and just go for it. I actually really enjoyed those entries, and probably more than the others. What is my structure now? I start off with a little bit of freestyle just to get me into the sort of zone of doing the journaling. It really helps sort of clear my mind, and then we can get into the sort of chunkier, deeper parts of the journey. Then I do a little bit of like a daily summary, just write up what happened that day, any big things, anything different that happened, something worth remembering. So that's where the story worth telling from the day has evolved into just a bit of a daily summary. What did I do? How did I feel? That's then followed by a few thoughts in my head. I just like to write down, maybe it might be some ideas for some videos, it might be some ideas for how to reach out to new clients, it might be some ideas for my content strategy. So it's nice to get those big ideas out. So I spend a little bit of time as well each day now writing out just a few thoughts. It might be about just what I had for dinner. And then finally, to finish it off, I do my affirmations because they're just, I can't believe I originally wrote them off, and now I find they're almost one of the most important parts of doing the journaling. So that is basically my structure for what I do with my journaling now. One quick little tip I like to do is, I don't always do this, but try and take it away from your desk. If you're doing journaling, do it in a space, in a corner of your room or something where that's just your little corner to do your journaling. It really helps like separate that, and then it doesn't become work, and it helps it become more of like an enjoyable thing that you do and a hobby. What did it help me with? I found it just really helped clear my head. If that's going to be like the big thing that it helped me with, is just it really helps sort of calm my mind. My mind is very busy, so what it did was it really helped get my thoughts out into the journal, and it really helps sort of calm me. I think I've been more productive, so it definitely helps improve your productivity. You're not worrying about missing out on thoughts. You know you've got that time at the end of the day to get that journaling done, and it's almost like a little bit of that sort of peace of mind that you know you're going to have sort of 20 minutes where you're just on your own, you're just writing, and you're almost just with your thoughts. I didn't realise journaling would help this much with like my mind and clearing it and sort of staying really productive. It helps me, just sort of quietens the noise that's constantly going on in your head with ideas, with worrying about things. If you give it a try, stay open-minded. Don't worry about if you're doing it right, if you're doing it wrong, because you're doing it right, because you're doing it. Try new things, don't get stuck in one way, but let me know what you do in the comments down below. Another thing that really helped with was keeping a track of my goals. Not only do I have like my weekly goals, I have my monthly goals, I have my yearly goals. It really helps you sort of keep in mind that there's something to be doing towards those goals each day. Where I track what I've done that day, normally that'll be something towards my goal. So whether it be trying to land a new client, the thing that I'll write in there about my day will probably be a call with a potential client. It really helps me track my goals and stay on target and know that I'm doing the right thing day in, day out. Another thing that I found as well, it helps me like jot down my random thoughts, whereas I'd usually lose them throughout the day. Sometimes I'll scribble them out during the day and then write them up into the journal at the end of the day. So it really helps me like catch my ideas, help me take note of my thoughts and what am I going to change going forward. I'm definitely going to carry on doing journaling. I'm not going to stop after these 30 days, but maybe what I'm going to change is I don't have to do it every day. I would like to, but if there's a day where I really don't feel like doing it, it's not the end of the world if I don't. I've built a habit of doing it now, that if there's a day where I don't want to do it, it's not the end of the world. Although I'm going to contradict myself a little bit, the days where I've forced myself to do it are probably one of the best days to do it. When you're feeling a bit down, you're feeling a bit shit, you don't really want to do anything, they're the best days to get your journal out, write down what you're doing and write down what you're thinking, write down why you're feeling like this. Is it something you ate? Is it something you done? Is it something someone said? Why are you not feeling so good? Definitely don't force yourself to do it every day, but do force yourself to do it every day. I think you've got to find the right balance of forcing yourself to do it and it feeling like a task and a bit of a ball ache. Also, I would say going forward is keep an open mind. Be open to changing your structure daily. Be open to changing your structure weekly. You don't have to stick to a certain structure every single time you put an entry into your journal. Do freestyle. Try really strict structures. What works for me might not work for you. Really just keep an open mind while you're on this journey of journaling. Journey of journaling. I like that. What's my final verdict then? After doing journaling for 30 days, what do I think? To be honest, I'm surprised at how much that I enjoy doing it and how much I've got out of it. So I would 100% recommend it for anyone. If me, someone who didn't think it was for me, and now I'm trying it, I'm doing it, I'm an advocate for it now, I'd absolutely recommend that you try it, whether you just try it for a week, just a few days. Don't give up after that first day. It didn't feel natural to me at first. I had to get used to writing out my thoughts and stuff like that. But once you get into it, it's so beneficial and it's so good for you, whether it's your productivity, whether it's your goals that you're trying to track. So I'd 100% recommend it for you. Let me know if you give it a try in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about your journey of journaling. Thanks for watching, guys. Love that you're still here. If you're still watching at this point in the video, I appreciate it a lot, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.